Hello, everyone. Happy New Year and happy Wednesday. I'm so excited to be back with you all doing another YouFit Times Eat Love Nutrition webinar. What better way to start the year than with a new year, new you outlook on food positivity and even neutrality when it comes to selecting food choices. So thank you all for stopping in today. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Zozos. I'm a registered dietitian with EatLove, and I'll be presenting our topic for today. Before I dive in, I just want to make sure everyone can hear me okay. If I can get just a confirmation from our audience today, if you can just type in the chat that you can thumbs up or that you can hear me before we get started. Keisha, thank you so much. So we will get rocking and rolling. But before we do get started, I do want to run a poll, and I apologize, I am getting over one of those New Year colds. So my voice is all nasally today. It's a little bit harder to get out words. But I wanted to learn, since it is a new year, we've been with YouFit for some time, but with the new year, we get new audiences as well, trying to make those nutrition fitness goals throughout the rest of the year. So I want to ask if those watching today were familiar that YouFit has an in-house nutrition program with EatLove with us. So just a yes or no with that one. We got a couple of no's, not surprising there. Mostly no's, 100% no's right now. One yes, amazing. So by the end of today, you will absolutely have a good working knowledge of who we are and how you can get started with EatLove. It is built into the tippy top highest tier YouFit membership. So if you do have that membership, that premium plus, you already have access to us. You just have to log in. For everyone else, it would just be an upgrade from a basic or premium membership to a premium plus to get access to some of the technology that I will showcase later on today if you guys are interested. So why don't we go ahead and get started? Karen is yes. I'm here, but I can't hear you. Sometimes it has to do with settings. If I'm getting thumbs up from some of our other audience members, it does sound like it's coming from your end. It does happen from time to time. I would check the settings either in your browser or in your privacy settings in your computer. We will also be sending out a replay as well that has both the recording and the visual to it. But let's dive in for today. Let's talk about a topic that is near and dear to my heart, as all of these topics are. Let me just get back to the beginning. And that's the new year, new you with better eating habits. Even new year, same you with better eating habits. But this persona of changing everything with the new year is not new. Usually that brings quick fixes, short-term solutions, and then we're back to square one by even mid-January, February, even March. So what we want to do is change our outlook on the way that we're approaching food and simply our relationship with food. So we can get better eating habits. We can have a new outlook, but that starts with the mindset and the way that we're perceiving the food that we choose to eat every single day. So that's really what we're going to cover today. We're going to go over taking a neutral shift with food, incorporating new foods. How many of you have been eating the same thing out of, it's your routine, it's normal, it works, or you just don't know what else is out there and how to incorporate that. Learning to go with the flow and stop being so stressed about our meal intakes, and then start saying yes, reframing that in a healthy way. So first and foremost, looking at that neutral approach to food, this is creating that healthy, positive relationship with food. I'm not sure if I have like a hands up situation over here, if you guys just want to put in the emojis again, but how many of you have had a New Year's resolution that revolved around or involved food, and food that was avoided or restricted because new year, new you, new set, we're going to reset all of our habits. How many of you have had that outlook in the past before? I know I have. Janet, yes, absolutely. Karen, Keisha, I think we all have at some point in our lives, and maybe we even do currently. But this webinar is really going to take that neutral approach and how we adjust and renew, kind of massage that relationship with food so that we aren't so stressed about that intake, so that we aren't fighting ourselves every time we try to eat something, where our internal self is fighting our actual self, where I'm going to feel guilty after I eat this, or I know I shouldn't eat this. Instead, we can just look at something. We can look at the salad and we can look at this burger identically. They're the same to us. Food has no moral value. So viewing foods as bad for our health or for weight loss only leads to anxiety and guilt around those choices. Usually, when the New Year resolution comes, weight loss is at the center of that in some way, shape, or form. Where, to lose weight, you need to eliminate certain foods. And that's not the case at all. That's not true at all. The relationship that we have with the food and the willingness to allow ourselves to have foods that we enjoy within moderation and understand that a bit more leads to less anxiety and quicker results in, not the short term, but quicker results, meaning we're not going to be stuck in the same hamster wheel cycle year after year after year. So this mindset leaves us vulnerable in the all or nothing mentality. Food neutrality, on the other hand, allows us to break free from this cycle. So what is food neutrality? It's going to strip away that moral value, removes judgment, shame, stress, guilt associated with those choices. Again, looking at this hamburger, I think it's a Big Mac, and looking at the salad, we're going to be able to look at these and ask ourselves what our body wants in the moment of having it. And we're not going to feel guilty eating one or the other an hour from now, 5 hours from now, the next day, next week, because we know that foods themselves do not derail us from our choices. It's the consistency of an eating pattern, the lack of a lifestyle in place that's really going to derail that. And that's what's consistent. So we want to strip all of that away, find that balance and that equilibrium so that we can move forward. To make choices with support that support your mind and body connection. I talk a lot about the hunger and fullness scale. So if you were with us at all last year, you may be familiar with this concept. And that is, we're eating and providing what our body wants and needs in the moment. We, of course, could eat vegetables all the time, but does our body really want vegetables all the time? Can we eat half of a burger and a big salad and feel just as good as we were if we were going to eat a whole salad or a whole sandwich? What does our body need and want in the moment? I was doing some trainings off-site earlier this week, and I looked at the menu on Monday and I was like, wow, this grilled cheese looks incredible. I can't wait to have that for lunch when I was there for breakfast. And I get to lunch and I really wanted that grilled cheese in the morning. Then I look at the menu again and I'm like, you know what? It doesn't hit the same way that it did this morning. And I actually don't want that grilled cheese. I want this power bowl. I feel like it's going to give me a little bit more energy for what I want and need in the moment. And that's as simple as that. You can move on and move to and make choices in the moment and feel really confident about those choices. So how do we rephrase our food talk from negative to positive? This is a big one for anyone watching today. It is not an overnight process. This relationship with food can take months and years to actually come to fruition, but we can really put ourselves on the right pages by framing that negative to positive. So I need to earn my food. Instead, since that earning piece of it is quite negative, I'm allowed to eat food because it gives me energy for the day. And that's what food is at the end of the day. It's our energy, it's our calories. It's needed to sustain our life and existence on this planet. We can't survive without it. So I'm allowed to eat food because it gives me energy, not I need to earn it. This food is bad. Instead, this food is less nutritious, but that doesn't make me a bad person for eating it. Some of these sound really basic, but I hope the point is coming across that just that slight rework and rephrase can make us feel a lot better about the choices and can release a lot of that stress around the choices that we make. Or I need to go on a diet, or also the diet starts Monday. That was, a really big piece of my past. And in middle school, like, why is that? Why is our diet, why is our society like breeding that type of outlook on food? I need to go on a diet. We don't need to go on a diet is an actual frame and term to include how we eat in general. Is really not one way to describe diet. It's just how we eat, our eating pattern. And diet culture has taken that word and shifted into something that's really unrecognizable. So instead, I want to honor my hunger cues and learn to eat in a way that is nourishing and enjoyable. So honoring those hunger and satiety cues. I don't have a picture of the scale in this presentation, but I do have I think I have one in an older presentation. If not, we will definitely talk about it more this year. I believe they're on the YouFit YouTube channel, where it's a scale of 1 to 10. And if we allow ourselves to weight to a 1, being very, very hungry, can't really control our choices, we are going to end up a 10, which means overstuffed, what I call past Thanksgiving full most of the time. But we can live on that scale in like a 3 to 6 or a 3 to 7 range, where we're never so hungry we can't focus, or that we just eat everything in sight because we are lacking control around those choices, to, first sign of hunger, I'm preparing for my food, I eat my food, I'm in tune with my hunger and satiety cues throughout that entire meal, and I'm able to stop at a place of where I'm comfortable. This skill is one of those things that if you can get this skill down, you are going to feel so wonderful in the choices that you make, knowing that you can eat pretty much anything that you want in moderation and be able to control yourself around those choices. So incorporating new foods is a great way to kind of kick off the new year to make foods fun again. I know a lot of the times I hear if we're trying to eat within a certain macro range, or we have certain health conditions. I'll just use a couple that I hear in passing with some of clients that I work with in the past, that you have hypertension and your doctor tells you to eliminate salt from your diet. That in itself, that statement, someone with authority has told us that. So we feel like we can't have any salt ever in our diets. Well, that's not really true, because salt is an essential micronutrient that we need in our bodies to survive. It's involved with so many various body physiological functions within our body, and it's 100% an essential nutrient. Maybe we need to reduce it, but we don't need to eliminate everything. And by doing so, maybe we started to adopt a certain way of eating that was forming to that no salt diet. We know we'll be dehydrated if we don't have salt in our diets because we're lacking that sodium piece. But we can incorporate new foods and still achieve our health goals and still be on track to achieve those goals, manage our conditions, and anything in between. So, benefits of adding new foods: broadens our flavors, horizons, encourages us to try our favorite foods again. Maybe we put them on the back burner because they weren't in that diet that we were told to eat by someone with authority. With more variety in our food choices, there's a greater variety of nutrients and nutritional benefits. Not only just the nutrients themselves, but feeding our microbiota gut flora, which is I would say, in its infancy in terms of how we can understand this piece of our physiology, this gut microflora concept. But it's so fascinating to find that if we are eating a variety of foods and we're feeding our gut that good bacteria, we have less disease, we have less development of chronic conditions, less mortality rate, our immune system is better, we have better focus and energy levels just because we're eating new foods. So it's fun for not only to broaden our horizons, but nutritionally into keeping us healthy long term, also going to be a benefit. It keeps things interesting in the kitchen. How many of us get into the kitchen after a long day at work and you're bored with what you see in the fridge because you've made it thousands of times and you just want to feel inspired again, make something new, explore new flavors and foods? It allows us to learn about and appreciate a variety of cultures and cuisines around the world. I'm going to show you a really cool feature within EatLove today that really goes into detail about how to boost your own cultural cuisine and then try some others. All right, take a sip of water for a second because it's all going in. So going with the flow, this concept again is not something that we're going to learn overnight, but life can be stressful and we don't want meals to add a level of complexity to that. So I'm going to ask you about meal times. How often are you stressed about meals? Always, sometimes, or never? I know there's probably a little piece in there that sometimes we're always going to feel just a little bit stressed about what to eat based on our family preferences. Even it may not have anything to do with our health goals or our preferences. It may be solely family related because you want to make sure your family is eating good nutrition, but everyone has different preferences. So what do you do when it stresses you out? So don't let your food choices add fuel to the fire. Some stress-free reminders include: leftovers is not a dirty word. I absolutely love reinventing leftovers, especially at the beginning of the week. If you're making, let's say, a salmon dish on Monday and a chicken dish on Tuesday and a beef dish on Wednesday, and you want to mass cook your grain or a vegetable so that you only have to make one component of that dish, I absolutely love reutilizing my rice. If I'm making like 2 dishes with rice, I'll make it all on Monday so I don't have to make rice again. So rice takes forever. Brown rice takes like 45 minutes on the stovetop. I don't have time for that. You can also use, of course, frozen goods. Frozen brown rice also works really great, that I've been getting more involved into. But having leftovers, home cooked meals, and ready to go fridge, freezer is convenient and a smart way to get nutrition with the least amount of effort and money spent. So leftovers is definitely your advantage here. Snacks can be a lifesaver when we're talking about that hunger fullness scale and we find ourselves a 1, 2 most of the time before our meals start. That is a pretty clear sign that we need to get more food in our day, just in general. And a 200-calorie snack could be the ticket to get you from lunch to dinner or from breakfast to lunch. So something small that you can plan when you're starting to feel hangry and put you at ease while you're figuring out your next meal. Not every meal has to be perfect is one of my favorites, because perfection doesn't exist in nutrition and wellness. It doesn't exist. It's that all or nothing, black or white thinking, and it's never going to be perfect. So as soon as we can embrace messy and disorganized meals, but in a way that we can still make good choices, we're gonna feel this level of stress just immediately lift off our shoulders, because we no longer have to carry that burden. And then do the best with the options that you have. Sometimes we just don't have the control over everything that we want to, but we don't have to sweat that. So we can try our best to fill our plates with the most nourishing options that can benefit while having our foods in moderation. This can be anything from restaurant meals to a holiday to a work event where you just don't have control over what's being provided, but knowing that if you fill your plate with half non-starchy vegetables, with a quarter of protein and a quarter of starchy vegetables or a grain or a legume, you're doing pretty good. And that's really all it has to be at the end of it. That is what a balanced plate looks like. Just as a reminder, take a plate and visualize that. Half of that plate is non-starchy vegetables. Non-starchy vegetables would be any lettuces, peppers, broccoli, cauliflower, tomatoes, cucumbers, the ones I can think of off the top of my head. Starchy vegetables would be your root vegetables, like your yams, sweet potatoes, potatoes in general. Carrots kind of tip to the line. I kind of categorize them as a non-starchy vegetable. Beets would be a starchy vegetable. Also grains and legumes. So rice, any type of rice would be a grain. A quinoa or a farro would also be a grain. Then we have our beans and legumes, chickpeas, black beans, kidney beans, white northern beans, cannellini beans, all a starch. So that would go in that quarter plate. And then you have your quarter for your proteins, whatever protein that may be. It may be an animal protein, it may be a plant-based protein like tofu, but about a quarter of that plate. And knowing that plate concept in these situations has so much power in knowing that you can make a meal that's not perfect to pretty well close to it and feel really confident about those choices. So reframe what it means to be healthy. Health is much more than the foods that we eat. According to the World Health Organization, the word health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. It's not just our diets. Other than consuming a variety diet rich in whole foods, being healthy is the ability to effectively manage a full range of emotions, have the energy to do things that you want to do, feel rested when you wake up, get over that energy slump in the middle of the day. So not only feeling well rested, but being able to power through those energy dips throughout the day. I know we all have that special time of the day. Mine's around 3 o'clock where you just kind of hit the wall. And then include moderate exercise and movement into your daily routine. Just in general, movement, physical activity, all of these things categorize into what healthy actually means. So start saying yes. Growing up in a world surrounding diet culture can put you in a constant battle with your food choices. Trying to stick to a healthy diet have driven many of us down new food and experiences. As previously discussed, our health encompasses much more than our diet. So this new year, new year is the year to start saying yes to your favorite foods again. Telling your body no time and time again makes us harder to control our intake of that food when we do get a hold of it later down the road. This is why Halloween is such an interesting social experiment to me, because a lot of us feel that we need to deprive ourselves of candy all year round. So then when we do get to Halloween and we see all this candy, it's like we're like a kid in a candy shop. It's hard to control ourselves. But if you have candy in your house kind of all the time and it's there, it loses that effect on you. That food no longer holds that power. I have a bowl of of candy right there pretty much all the time, or a bag of Reese's in my fridge all year round. So, if I'm feeling something sweet, I may grab one, but it's always there. And I no longer have to feel out of control of those choices because I hold the power now. Candy does not hold the power, or does not hold the power. Say yes to new foods, explore the wonderful world of food. It brings us together. It is cuisines. There's just so many natural, diverse foods that are very nutritious at the same time. And say yes to social events. If you're feeling like you're isolating yourself from these events as well, trying to put yourself in these situations and improve your overall health is going to encompass that health word with the new foods and expanding your intake. So they can be fun opportunity to try new foods, interact with new people. So I did want to highlight a piece on EatLove, and that is our cultural preference inspiration. So if you go into the meal search, if you open the app, and for some of you that may not have access just yet and you're interested, I will definitely share some information on how to do that. But it would be the meal search. You would go to the cuisine type, and then you could select through one of our 23 different cuisine options to see what type of, we don't have generally healthy food on this. We just have real food. We have real food that you're going to understand, recognize, and want to incorporate more into your diet, knowing that that can fit your nutrition prescription and everything in between. So if you haven't already joined our Facebook group, I'm going to pause here so that you all can take your phone, scan that QR code on the screen here, and join our Facebook group to continue the conversation over there in between our webinars here. We do these about once a month on very popular nutrition topics going through, and then our Facebook group is how to get in touch with me and the YouFit team in between these sessions to ask questions, talk about really anything that's on your mind. Very safe space over there. All right, so with the little bit of time we have left today, I did want to highlight what EatLove is, because you've heard a little bit about it today. And it is a personalized nutrition app for both making meals at home and dining out. Think of EatLove as the problem to all the challenges that you face involving education, not knowing what to eat for your condition, family preferences and pushback, planning shopping if time is a barrier, really anything in between. Maybe you travel a lot for work and you're on the go. We have a solution for that with smart idea recommended meals based on smart choices at popular restaurant chains. So we're very flexible, we're customizable. This is not going to be a meal plan for you that is set in stone. It shouldn't be, because that's not what life is. Life is enjoying those foods all the time and picking things that fit your profile and your taste preference in the moment. Like I talked about that earlier example with the grilled cheese. Grilled cheese was speaking to me at 9 a.m. in the morning, but I wanted something a little bit more nourishing to start the day. And I said, if I still want it at lunch, I'm going to try it at lunch. And it no longer held the same effect that it did. And I wanted something a little bit more nourishing then. Doesn't mean, the following day, it's still there. That's always the concept at the end of the day. It's always there. It's always available. I can get it whenever I want. So I want to listen to what my body is telling me. Do I want vegetables? Do I want a lean protein? Do I want both of them together? I'm going to share my screen. It's probably just a little bit easier to show that side of things over here. All right, perfect. Awesome. So when you log into EatLove, you're going to fill out a whole onboarding profile of your preferences. Some of those preferences include who in the family is eating at what times, because it's going to scale based on that. So my primary account is me at all meals, and my partner is on at dinner. So I don't have to worry about it scaling incorrectly, because this is the default. We eat dinner together. Your avoidances. What foods do you not want to see in your plan, or do you have a specific eating pattern that you follow? Vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian, and you'll see more of those meals. Taste preferences. Here's that cuisine filter. So you can boost these words, knowing that you'll see more of these in your profile. Milk, same thing. Boost these words so that you'll see more of them. And same thing with rice. Cooking and shopping. My meals. And here are my recommendations for the week. I love the expanded view because you can see everything all at once. And what is really great about this is that nothing has to be set in stone. Say, for example, I do not want this cinnamon green bowl tomorrow. Maybe I do all my shopping on Saturday, so the swapping would happen before you do your grocery shopping, but I can swap for something that fits my nutrition profile right here. And now that meal is placed in there. I wanted to talk about the dinner options for restaurant meals because we do have 75 popular restaurant chains in North America. So, for example, if I wanted to go to Chick-fil-A and I wanted something that was a smart choice, we're going to show you what a smart choice is and actually how to order at these restaurants. 75 of them will be close to 100 very, very soon. So any popular restaurant chain that you follow and you're not sure how to order at that menu with your specific condition, that can be anything from a general healthy diet to managing diabetes, we're going to show you how to order with a concept called a smart choice. So let's try this one right in here. I will add that to my plan. Let's say for the week we wanted to go grocery shopping. I could check my cart here. My grocery list has been populated for me. And I can buy online through one of our third-party integrations. So while you're at the gym, cooling down, walking on the treadmill, and you want to order your groceries for the week, you can do that and you get them delivered directly to your door. In terms of that nutrition condition that I mentioned, that nutrition prescription, we have over 30 of the most popular templates that you can choose from high cholesterol, weight loss, diabetes, general healthy eating, Mediterranean diet, anti-inflammatory diet, and we're going to give you that foundation meals that fit that prescription and meet those targets that you need to see results. If you are someone that likes to track your food, we do have a food log. So if you're using an outside food record or a different app, you can do all of this in one, including shopping. So when we say we talk about EatLove for solving all of your challenges, we truly solve all of your challenges by being able to keep it all in one place and being able to export nutrition analysis for more detail. It's very well organized to see, am I hitting my fiber? Or where am I low? Does my favorite breakfast have enough protein in it? You can see all of that from the daily log, and everything is pre-logged here. You can search through our foods database. If you want to just log your food, doesn't have to be a recipe at all, just log your food. We have a barcode scanner on the app. You can also create a custom food by dragging and dropping a nutrition picture of the nutrition facts label that will automate and pull out that information so you don't have to enter anything in manually. So lots of really great information in there, as well as just the meal search, which is one of my favorite features to find exactly what I'm looking for in the moment. We've created a concept of medically tailored meals that use popular convenient food like Amy's Kitchen, which traditionally wouldn't be a whole meal itself because there's not a vegetable serving in it, but paired with a cup of spinach, we can make this dish a full medically tailored meal now. So if you're managing diabetes or high cholesterol and you want something that's convenient but quick, super quick, lightning speed quick, we have the ability to do that now, as well as 7,000 other different eating occasions, from scaling from home cooked meals to our recipes to our pre-made, ready-made meals, and then also just modular style meals, simple like this, like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, hummus and cucumbers, basic components you can put together because good nutrition does not have to be complicated. I eat like this most days for lunch because it's a well-nourished dish, has a lot of protein to it, and I'm getting a full serving of vegetables, 1 of 3 for the day. So I'm going to come back to our screen here and see if we had any questions with the couple minutes we have left today. All right, nothing so far. I know there's Keisha, great info. Thank you so much, Keisha. Hope to see you at another one soon and in our Facebook group. Karen, great question. So you can talk to your home gym location with YouFit and sign up for the Premium Plus membership. It is included in that membership, as well as a couple other benefits of that membership for the gym. And that way you'll be able to download the app from there. Fabulous. And if you have any other questions, here is our support line for EatLove, support@eatlove.is. If you have any questions, or you can talk to your home gym location to get started. But I hope you all have a wonderful new year. I hope that those New Year's resolutions, which I quote unquote for because they're just big goals that we set with other goals in there, and we'll probably talk about that later on in the new year. But if you have any questions, definitely reach out to us in our Facebook group as well to continue the conversation over there. And I will talk to you all soon. Bye.